Hello and full moon blessings, everybody. Welcome to my channel. My name is Kelsey, and today I'm going to guide you through a yoga flow that you might like to do in honor of a full moon in Capricorn. We can learn a lot about the theme of the upcoming moon phase whenever we take a look at the astrological sign that the moon is passing through. And so if you chose to click on this practice today, I'm assuming you are near or under a full moon in Capricorn. The moon is said to represent our subconscious awareness, our mind, our emotions. And so when the moon is in its full phase, it's thought that we're coming to a sense of clarity around something. We're having realizations or revelations, maybe around something that was coming up for you around the new moon. When we're looking at a full moon in Capricorn, the spotlight of the full moon is shining on our responsibilities and our commitments. Capricorn represents our sense of purpose and how we direct our energy into that purpose. The word that comes to mind for me when I think about Capricorn is the Sanskrit word dharma, which kind of translates to duty towards self. Capricorn reminds us that we have a responsibility to ourself first, and then we can still serve the world. In fact, sometimes that duty towards ourself involves serving the world, but there is that sense of responsibility that we have to our own life's path. And that can take a lot of discipline, especially if we have a tendency to center other people's needs and wants above our own. So the full moon in Capricorn is asking us to do the work that feeds our soul and to not be as concerned with pleasing other people or with achieving an external goal or expectation. With this more subtle and inward focused intention in mind, we are also going to be doing asana. So in our asana practice, we are going to be focusing a lot on the skeletal system, our joints, our spine, because this is the area of the body that Capricorn rules. And so I like to think about this as Capricorn literally asking us to have a backbone, to stand for something and to stay steadfast in that, and to really prioritize the work that feeds us on that deeper level. So let's go ahead and get into our asana practice. I'm going to ask you to meet me at the top of the mat in Tadasana, and we'll get started there. So coming to the top of your mat in your Tadasana, maybe your feet are underneath your hips or you have your feet closer together, whichever feels more grounding for you and more stable. Lifting up through the kneecaps, lifting up through the pelvic floor and the low abdominals, rolling the shoulders back and down. So starting to connect with this sense of an upward current of energy in your front body and a downward current of energy in your back body. Let's start with 3 cleansing breaths here. In through your nose, out through your nose or your mouth. 2 more like that. Breathe in. And out. Last one. And then start to widen your feet a comfortable distance apart from each other, and we'll do a little just gentle twisting, not really crunching through the ribs and through the spine, but just kind of letting the spine start to twist naturally. So feet are separated, soft bend of the knees, arms are just dangling beside you, and then we're just going to start to let the upper body sway side to side, letting the arms just kind of land and maybe tap your body wherever it happens naturally. And you might raise or lower your arms to connect with different portions of your torso, your hips, your shoulders. And all while we're doing this, we're breathing. We're not locking out the knees. And starting to wake up the spine a little bit here, wake up our energy. Also, maybe letting go of something that maybe feels a little bit stagnant. it's not serving you anymore. Full moon is a great time to release. And then just start to slow that down, making your way back through center and stillness, feet underneath your hips. And let's do a few roll downs here. So let's interlace the fingers and bring the hands behind the nape of the neck. And we're not going to pull on the head with the arms, but we are going to allow for the arms to be heavy. So let's do an inhale and lift the heart, open the elbows wide, lean back a little bit just to take care of the lower back here. Breathe in. Exhale, chin tucks down towards your throat, and then you're going to keep rounding through the spine, letting the elbows come towards the temples. Thinking about cat pose in the spine, so drawing the navel up, tucking the tailbone down. Allow for as much of a bend of the knees here, and we're rolling all the way down to Uttanasana, forward fold. And then on your next inhale, you're going to press into your feet from the base of your spine. Roll up one vertebrae at a time. Not tugging on the head. And then when you get your head over your heart, open the elbows, lean back, lift your heart. And then two more. Exhale, chin to your throat, elbows towards the temples, not pulling on the head, just rounding the spine and letting the arms give the head a little bit of extra traction. Again, think about cat pose in your spine as you're coming down. Allow for a bend of the knees at the bottom. Inhale, press into the tops of your feet. Slowly come all the way up. Apologies if you hear some power tools. There's some landscaping happening outside. We're going to do one more. Exhale, round your spine, chin to your throat, round it all the way down. And then this is where we're going to hang out for a couple of breaths. Let the arms go and be heavy. Let your head be heavy. And remember, allowing for a bend of the knees. We're focusing a lot on the spine today, so if you are rounding through your back a lot like this, allow for the knees to bend and let your upper body drape over your legs. Maybe grab opposite elbow with opposite hand. Take a couple of breaths here. Gently sway side to side. And then coming back to stillness and letting your arms go, we're going to roll all the way back up, one vertebrae at a time, until your head stacks over your heart, heart over the hips, back into Tadasana. And then let's move through a few rounds of classical sun salutations. On your next inhale, arms go up and overhead, palms together, press your hips forward, lean back. Exhale, forward bend, Uttanasana. Inhale, step your right foot back, lower the right knee, and lift your head, Anjaneyasana. Exhale, step back into high plank, and then drop the knees down, lift the sits bones, drop your chest and your chin to the mat, Ashtangasana. Inhale, slide forward into Bhujangasana or upward dog. Exhale, press into the tops of your feet, shift your hips up and back. Downward facing dog, Adho Mukha Svanasana. We're taking a couple of breaths here. Next breath in, step your right foot forward, drop the left knee down, look forward, Anjaneyasana. Exhale, step your left foot forward, Uttanasana, fold. Inhale, press into your feet, rise up. Press the hips forward, lean the upper body back. Exhale, hands to heart center. Inhale, upward salute. Lean back, press the hips forward. Exhale, forward bend. Inhale, step left foot back, lower the left knee, lift your head, Anjaneyasana. Exhale, step back into high plank, and then drop the knees, the chest, and the chin to the mat, Ashtangasana. Inhale, into your cobra or your up dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. And take a couple of breaths. Next breath in, step your left foot forward, lower the back knee, lift your head. Exhale, step up, Uttanasana. Inhale, upward salute, arms go forward and up, hips forward, lean the upper body back. Exhale, hands to your heart. We'll do one more on each side. Inhale, arms up, lean back. Exhale, forward bend. Inhale, right foot steps back, Anjaneyasana. Exhale, plant the hands, step back, knees, chest, chin. Inhale, cobra or up dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. A couple of breaths. Inhale, right foot forward, Anjaneyasana, lift your head. Exhale, step forward, Uttanasana, forward fold. Inhale, press into your feet, rise up. Exhale, hands to heart center. Last one, inhale, upward salute, standing back bend. Exhale, forward bend. Inhale, left foot back, Anjaneyasana, lift your head. Exhale, step back to plank, knees, chest, chin as you lower down. Inhale, baby cobra or up dog. Exhale, downward dog. Take a little rest. Feel the warmth beginning to build in your practice. Next breath in, left foot steps forward, drop the knee, lift your head. Exhale, Uttanasana at the top of the mat. Inhale, upward salute, standing back bend. Exhale, hands into heart center. Pause. Feel this energy. Observe your inner experience. And then as you're ready, we'll step the right foot back into a wide stance, toes point out, heels point in, preparing for Utthita Konasana, goddess pose. Really great pose to do on the full moons and the new moons. Begin to bend into your knees, dropping your center of gravity down. Keep the pelvis stacked underneath your shoulders as best as you can. So try to avoid leaning forward too much. It might happen a little bit. And then taking the arms out into this cactus-like shape, opening the heart. Taking a few more breaths here. On an exhale, let your hands rest on top of your thighs or your knees, and then you can lean into the support of your arms a little bit. So now your chest might go forward a little bit more than what it was doing before. We're going to do a couple of twists. Let your left shoulder drop down towards the center line of the body and let your right shoulder roll back. Maybe look back behind you. Breathing here. Inhale through center, exhale straight away to the other side. Right shoulder drops down to the midline of the body, left shoulder rolls back. Reach out through the crown of your head. Really nice. Inhale, come back through center. I know the legs are talking to you, so press through the feet, straighten out the legs. Whoo, maybe give it a little wiggle side to side, and then let's parallel the feet. Maybe even exaggerating this a little bit, kicking the heels out slightly. Take the arms to the waistline. Inhale, lift your heart. Exhale, hinge at your hip crease. As you send the hips back, the heart goes forward, and then bring your hands underneath your shoulders when you get to about halfway, and let gravity take over from here. Hands are there for a little added support and balance, right? But if you feel like it's available in your practice, you might walk the hands back in line with your feet. Pull your shoulders away from your neck. And think about pulling your upper body through your legs. Very gentle, allowing for as much of a bend of the knees as feels good. A little lift up through the low abdomen is helpful here. One more breath in and out. Next, inhale, hands under the shoulders, halfway lift. And then we'll twist here, left hand to the center line. Exhale, reach that right arm up. Take a breath in at the top. Exhale, right hand down. Inhale, left arm up. Great. Exhale, left hand down. And then hands to the waistline, connect to core, power down through the legs as you lift all the way back up with a flat back. Prepare for Trikonasana triangle pose. Take your left toes towards the top of the mat. If your stance feels really wide and you feel kind of wobbly and off balance, narrow the stance a tad. You can also walk that left foot out to the left slightly. Let the left hip drop down, right hip kicks up, reach the arms out into a T shape, look over the left fingertips as you reach forward, and then left hand lands anywhere along the left leg that's helpful, or if you have a block with you, you could bring a block under your left hand. Right arm is reaching straight up over the head. Think about stacking your shoulders on top of each other, and send your gaze up towards that right thumb. Power down through both legs evenly here, a little tuck down of the tailbone, a little lift up through the low abdominals here as well, supporting the spine. Next, inhale. Imagine someone's pulling on your right wrist, helping you come all the way back up, hands to the waist. Just parallel your feet. Take a pause for observation here in center. And then let's go to the other side. Right toes point towards the back of your mat technically. And then we're going to let the right hip kick down, left hip kicks up. Arms reach out in that T shape. Look over the right fingertips and reach the right hand forward until you just can't help but bring it down onto something anywhere along this right leg. And left arm is going straight up overhead, thinking about stacking the shoulders. Gaze can go up to that left thumb. Tuck the tailbone. Open the chest. Awesome. Inhale. Imagine someone's pulling on your left wrist, help you come all the way back up. Hands to the waistline, parallel your feet, and then heel toe your feet in closer towards each other. Prepare for Vrikshasana, tree pose. So you can be standing on your left leg. Find something in front of you that's not moving and that also is not the video, because if I fall and you're looking at me, then you're going to fall too. And if you fall, it's okay, but we want to try to work against that as much as we can. And so start with hands at heart center. You can stay with your right toes on the ground, just lifting your right heel and turning your right toes out. Notice how that's going to make your right knee turn out. You're really working with that external rotation through your right thigh. Or you can take those right toes off of the ground, maybe set the foot to the inside of your left leg, or maybe reach for the foot, help that foot come up towards your inner thigh, pressing the leg into the foot and vice versa. Just be careful about that if your foot naturally rests a little bit closer towards your knee. And then decide where you want to take your pose. Maybe you stay here with hands at heart center. Maybe you take the arms up overhead. Nice and grounded through that standing leg. Lifting out of the left hip, up through the spine. Exhale, hands to heart center with as much control as you can. Set the right foot down, and if you want to do a little wiggle with the hips side to side, maybe shake out that standing leg, you can. And we're going to go right over to the second side. Standing in Tadasana to start, this is already a balancing posture. Just because you have both feet on the ground doesn't mean you're not balancing. You're just going to take this sense of stability into the right leg as you lift the left heel, maybe turn the left toes out, heel rest to the inside of your left ankle, or if it's in your practice, you could take the foot up to the calf, or maybe take it up a little bit higher, and then you choose where you take your arms, maybe together, maybe overhead. What's important here is that you can still stay with a steady flow of breath, and that we're not falling all over the place. Like I said, it's okay if you fall, but go to a place where you can stay relatively stable and you feel like you're making progress in your balance. And notice if there's any frustration, that's part of the practice as well. One more breath cycle. Exhale, hands to heart center with as much control as you can. Set that left foot down and then shake the right leg out. Coming back to the top of the mat, let's go through a little rinse, a little vinyasa to take ourselves out of that standing sequence, moving to the ground, starting to cool things down. Inhale, arms go up, upward salute. Exhale, forward bend. Breathe in, half lift. Exhale, stepping back into your plank, this time lowering to the belly or maybe chaturanga dandasana. Inhale, baby cobra or upward dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Meeting here. Take a couple of breaths for you. When you get here, you can pedal out the feet if you want to. Into our pigeon pose. Look towards your hands and then bring your right knee behind your right wrist. Point the right toes over towards the left. Drop the left knee down and walk your right leg back to wherever's comfortable for you. Your hips may not be resting on the ground. That's okay. You can put a blanket or a pillow underneath your hips if you have one nearby. Otherwise, you're just going to go to where you feel like you can relax the hips in a way that is safe and comfortable. If your hips are able to get closer to the ground, maybe you come down onto your forearms, or maybe you even stack your hands and rest your head onto that stack. And like I said, we're starting to slow things down. A little bit more stretch, a little bit less strength. It's a good time to observe how that standing portion of practice impacted you. If there's anything coming up in relation to this Capricorn full moon, just noticing it, not needing to attach a story to it. Let's come back up through that downward dog. So we're going to bring the hands under the shoulders, or maybe slightly ahead actually, and tuck the left toes, walk the left knee in, lift that back knee up, and then step the right foot back, send the hips up and back, downward facing dog. A couple of breaths here. And then let's transition to pigeon on the second side, pulling that left knee behind your left wrist. Point your toes towards the right. Walk your right leg back any amount. Like I said before, your hips do not need to be touching the ground. You just need to feel like you're getting a nice stretch in that outer left hip. Maybe you put something underneath your hips and your pelvis to give you an added lift. If it's comfortable, you can bring the forearms down, maybe even stack your forearms or your hands and rest your head down here. Reflecting on this energy of the full moon in Capricorn, what is that sense of duty to yourself that you want to honor? Maybe that does include being of service to others in some way.
But in order for yourself to serve others, you need to be taken care of too. And you're doing that in this practice. Alrighty. This time, instead of stepping back to downward dog, we're going to come up onto the hands, and you're going to lean onto your left hip and swing your right leg around. Bring soles of your feet together, knees go away from each other. And let's take Baddha Konasana. And so your heels can come in as close as is comfortable for your hips and your knees. If you feel like a lot of pulling is happening here, you might put blocks under the legs if you have them, or you could use pillows or blankets. Hands rest and hook onto anywhere along your shins, ankles, feet. That works for you. Inhale. Think about a little bit of cow pose action in your spine, especially the upper spine, around your shoulder blades, pulling the shoulder blades back and down, pulling your sternum through your arms. And then think about tucking down through your tailbone slightly. Navel's going to draw back a little bit while the heart space leans forward, and just start to reach your upper body forward. Keep the sits bones grounded as best as you can. Elbows can hug in towards you. If you start to feel like this is a little bit too much, you feel a lot of pulling, you might bring your hands out in front of you to brace yourself. Or if it's available on your body, you might let your head rest down towards the mat. Mine isn't resting on the mat. Yours might not either. But you're letting gravity be heavy, tractioning out your neck, stretching out your spine. We did a lot of back bending and a lot of strengthening in the muscles of the spine. So it can feel really good to let that relax and round the spine a little bit. Shoulders away from the neck. Last couple of breaths here. Inhale. Start to lift up, using those back muscles to help you get here, and pressing down through your arms for a little bit of added support. And then we're going to do a variation of boat pose, something kind of fun. So let go of any seriousness. I know that Capricorn can be a little bit serious. I have a lot of Capricorn in my chart. I get it. But we're going to try to find this sense of balance on the backs of our sitting bones. So take your peace fingers around your big toes if you can. And then start to lean back onto those sitting bones. You're going to be lifting your knees, and you're going to be on the heels here. You can stay just like this, thinking about that cow-like shape in your spine. It's not going to be arching your back necessarily. It's just going to keep your back nice and straight. Or maybe you see how it feels to extend one leg out. And you can bring it back in if that feels a little bit scary. Maybe you try it on the other side. Connect with your breath. Maybe you try that a couple more times on your own, just one leg at a time. Or maybe you take the legs up into the air, as much of a bend of the knees as feels good to you. Feel your pelvis heavy on the mat, like a paperweight. Draw down through the low abdomen, and let the legs separate just to where it feels right to you. And think about pulling your sternum up, up, up towards the sky. Maybe even look up. One more breath cycle. You got it. Exhale, bend the knees, bring the feet back together and down, and let's roll all the way down onto our backs from here. Fixing your clothes and your hair as needed. I need to take my hair clip out so that it doesn't stab me. And then allow for your back to recalibrate now that it has some back support. You might consider how you have support in your life. Who supports your dreams? Who supports your soul work? What supports your soul work if it's not a person? Alrighty. Feet underneath the knees more or less. Toes are pointing straight ahead. Arms reach down beside you into our bridge pose. Press into your feet. Lift your hips towards the sky. Think about lifting your sternum towards your chin, And lifting your chin towards the sky as well, creating more space in the neck. You might even walk your arms closer together under you, interlace your fingers, press through the arms. Keep pressing through your legs as well. Last couple of breaths here. Exhale, separating the arms if you took that clasp, and then lowering down one vertebrae at a time. Allow for your spine to recalibrate after the back bend. And then you can do any variation of a recline twist that feels good to you. Maybe that's just pulling one knee in, extending the opposite leg, and guiding that leg that's pulled in. You're guiding it to the opposite side. Maybe you're taking the variation with both legs pulled in. Whatever feels good to your back. On your next breath in, roll towards your back onto your mat, and then just switch out the legs if you're taking this one-legged twist variation that I'm doing, and going to the opposite way. And if you're taking both legs, you're just taking them to the other side. Next breath in, roll to your back. And exhale, release that right leg. If there is any other movement that feels good to you before you take your Shavasana for your practice, please do that for yourself, but do not skip out on this time in stillness and silence. It is just as important, if not the entire point of what we're doing when we're moving on our mat. Letting your body soften into the pull of gravity, letting go of any resistance, maybe even just scanning through your body. Consciously letting go wherever you're still holding on. Let your breath be natural. And you'll hear my voice when it's time to come back into this space. Enjoy your Shavasana. Remaining just as you are, start to bring your awareness back to your breath. Notice the way that the breath moves your body, and then allow for the movement of your breath to inspire you to start wiggling fingers, toes, wrists, and ankles. Maybe nodding your head side to side. Eventually, you could take a big full body stretch, breathing in to stretch long. Breathe out, let it all go. Roll yourself over to your right side. Use your right arm like a pillow under your head. Just pause here for a breath or so. And slowly start to pick yourself up away from your mat. Coming back through center. Into a comfortable seat. Allow for your eyes to soften or close when you get here. And observe the impact of your practice in your body today. Not just in your body, but your mind, your emotions, your spirit. And one more time, reflecting on this full moon in Capricorn energy, acknowledging how it's impacting you, what it is activating within you. When you're ready, bring palms together in front of your heart, Anjali Mudra, and we'll close together with one chant of Om. Wherever you are with your breath, empty out your lungs. Take a breath in at the bottom. Exhale to chant Om. Thank you all so much for joining me for this practice today. I hope that it serves you well. Please let me know what your full moon in Capricorn intention is if you feel so inclined. And if you haven't subscribed to my channel already, please do. I release new classes every single Sunday, sometimes a special one in the middle of the week just because. And I hope that we can practice together again very soon. Thank you. Namaste.